July began for CBS with regional coverage of the San Francisco Giants hosting Chicago Cubs, a game called by Jack Buck and Tim McCarver, and the New York Yankees, which prior in 1973 had been owned by CBS and who had 1 month earlier fired manager Bucky Dent, best known for a 3-run homer in their 1978 American League East tiebreaker game against the arch-rival Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park, with Stump Merrill being brought in as interim manager. The Yankees were welcoming Minnesota Twins in a game called by Dick Stockton and Jim Cott on July 7th, the last Saturday before the All-Star Game on July 10th at Wrigley Field in Chicago.
About this game.
Think I'm crazy?
Yeah, I do.
Can't you see it, Frank? The best in the American against the best in the National. It'll be great.
But, Arch, the game don't count for nothing.
Will to the fans.
Good night, Mr. Ward.
Night, Andy. We'll see.
Bill Hallahan on Madison Papers. Here's your lead offer. There's the ball inside. Say, do you think Arch Ward ever dreamed it would turn out like this? Here's the two-strike pitch. There it goes. Back up.
He's going to get a home run.
Bambino's the first All-Star Game home run. Oh, my.
Someday you'll play this game, son. Someday we'll all play this game together.
Boys and girls, this boy Hubble is a pitcher. Here it is. Strike three. Strike three. He's out.
There's a high drive going deep. It is a home run.
Come on, Ernie. A big stick, Ernie. Come on. Come on, Ernie. The hit brings him to you. Come on.
Afternoon, Frank.
Hey, Mr. Ward. Looks like you're a genius.
Save it, Frank. Give it to me in 50 years if we're still around. Hey, who's going to win that game tomorrow? Remember? It don't count for nothing.
Yeah, sure.
Rosen coming to the plate, throws the throw. It's all over. The National League wins. Low drive, deep right field. It's 3-2. Nobody even turns to look.
Ball hit deep, way back. Davis looks up, it's out of here.
Grandpa, do you remember coming here with this sign?
I always had fun at Wrigley Field.
That's a fly ball, beat the left back. Hey! He did it!
Look, Grandpa.
Great catch tomorrow. You know, I never thought I'd say this. It's a beautiful night for baseball. Let's play, too.
Welcome back to Chicago, Illinois, everyone. The bright lights point the way to Wrigley Field on the near north side of Chicago, the site tonight of the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. And what's a little rain when there's an All-Star Game to be played? As you can see, the tarp is being removed and the players are standing by. The fans have made their way in from all parts of the city and in some cases from all around the country. One of the two hand-operated scoreboards in Major League Baseball in this, the oldest park in the National League, formerly Weigman Field and now Wrigley Field.
I don't know what the score will be, but at the end of this top half of the 7th inning, Harry Carey is going to lead the crowd in the singing of Take Me Out to the Ballgame. That's always fun here at Wrigley Field. Meanwhile, a base hit puts the American League on top. It goes deep, and the second run might also score. Harry's not a good runner, but he is going to be able to dent the plate And it's 2-0 in favor of the American League as Franco came through on an 0-2 count.
When you add up all the elements, there is no way for Julio Franco to pull a ball off a guy like Dibble, who throws so hard. But Dibble makes the mistake of finding too much of the plate, and Franco rifles one into right center. Strawberry misses the first cutoff man. He does find Sean Dunston, but Parrish ends up walking home. See how far Franco has to go with that bat to come back, that loop in his swing. A mistake by Dibble.
That All-Star game would see the American League defeat the National League 2-0, with the 2 hits by a National League being fewest in All-Star Game history, next to a 7th-inning hit by Texas Rangers second baseman and All-Star Game MVP Julio Franco, sending Cleveland Indians catcher Sandy Alomar Jr. and California Angels catcher Lance Parrish home for the only run scored. However, the All-Star Game was marred by and overshadowed by rain. Lots of rain, including a period during the 7th inning where it rained for just over an hour. Then someone at CBS decided this decadent rerun of William Shatner hosted series Rescue 911 on the air, to much ridicule.
Tough to hit with that wet bat and the water dripping off the bill of the helmet.
I think you saw one of the members of the grounds crew. He's going down to the American League bullpen. It is becoming slippery. It's not too often that you find the bullpen more slippery than the field.
Yeah, and one thing we should point out here, this is one thing that the umpires will not put up with. First of all, Roger Craig comes out, and he might lift Brantley right here. But if the umpires find that there's danger of somebody being injured slipping in the mud, you know, the rain is one thing. But once it gets soggy out there, and the umpires have to think seriously about holding things up. I wonder if we can see the cut on the bridge of the nose of Ed Montague. There's Roger Craig, and he's going to leave Brantley in.
That cut on the nose occurred when Vince Coleman of the St. Louis Cardinals slid into second base, was called out by Ed Montague, who was, of course, the second base umpire. And Vince inadvertently came up, and the bill of his hard hat hit the bridge of the nose of Ed Montague.
He said that hurt.
And Coleman suffering a 7-day suspension as a result.
Now they're going to cover the field. That's what I was talking about. Once the umpire deems it dangerous that a pitcher might slip off the mound and hurt himself or something, here comes Tony La Russa to talk with the umpire to get his thoughts about this situation. First and third, nobody out, 7th inning, no score. The umpire said, we're going to need a little work. We're going to cover the field, and we're going to repair the field before we resume. And La Russa just wanted to check something with Montague, perhaps the batting order or something of the sort. The fans came prepared tonight because all day long it looked as though it was going to rain here in Chicago. There they go to work. This infield will absorb quite a bit of this rain, so it won't be in bad playing shape, but we're going to have a genuine delay here in the top of the 7th inning of scoreless game.
Starting time was supposed to be 7:40. It was delayed 15 minutes. It eventually started at 7:55.
Well, there'll be some stories swapped. That's the American League bench. And Big Dave Parker. We'll see him before the night's over in all probability. Another look at the fans and the preparation that they made for this game. No score. Top of the 7th. American League threatening. 1st and 3rd. Nobody out.
Past All-Star games that had rain problems. 1952 at Shive Park. Of course, that was later Connie Mack Stadium. It was called after 5 innings. And then in 1961, at the second game, you remember there were 4 years, 59 through 62, where they played 2 All-Star games a year. And then in 1969, RFK Stadium, Steve Carlton was supposed to start that game, and he started the next day. Tremendous home run by Frank Howard.
Well, while we're waiting to resume here at Wrigley Field, Let's look in as William Shatner hosts 2 real-life stories of uncommon courage and compassion on a special episode of Rescue 911.
This program contains true stories of rescues. All of the 911 calls you will hear are real. Whenever possible, the actual people involved have helped us reconstruct the events as they happened.
Use the police department.
Welcome back to Wrigley Field in Chicago, everyone, and there is the view from on high. This has been a scoreless 61st All-Star Game, and the rain has been falling for approximately 30 minutes now, and as you heard the commissioner state earlier, that we will wait approximately 1 hour before a decision is made on what is happening here at Wrigley Field. Welcome back to Chicago, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel, and we appreciate you hanging with us to find out just how far this baseball All-Star Game will go. This is a message for our local stations up and down the CBS network. We will, at the end of this segment, take a local station break, a 64-second station break, after which you will have the option to go to your local newscast for 15 minutes. If you choose not to do this, and we invite you to come back and spend the time here at Wrigley Field with us, we will fill you in on all the things that are happening, and there is still an awful lot of atmosphere here at Wrigley Field. Right now, I'm going to send you across the way where Jim Cott is with the Commissioner of Baseball. Jim?
All right, Greg. Well, the fans breaking out in some applause, and it looks like we might get some baseball here before we thought we would. Commissioner, maybe we could have an update.
Well, we're going to take the tarp off, and as soon as we're ready, we're going to play.
When you say as soon as we're ready, how long can fans and viewers expect to wait before we could get back on the field?
Well, they tell me it takes about 20 minutes.
0-0 right now, and top of the 7th inning. There's a possibility it could end a tie game. What would the outcome be then? What would we do?
Well, it won't end a tie game unless it rains hard.
Well, if it rains hard enough that we'd have to come back tomorrow, what are those kind of options?
I don't think we come back tomorrow.
So you think we're going to have some baseball here in the next 30, 45?
I'm an optimist. I think we'll play and we'll have a winner.
All right, that sounds like good news for all here. Let's go back to Greg Gumbel.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. And once again, just a notice to our local stations that coming up very shortly, right after this segment, there will be a 64-second local station break available to you, and then a 15-minute window for local news.
July 14th was another regional coverage Saturday as CBS offered either the Pittsburgh Pirates hosting the San Diego Padres, the A-team of Buck and McCarver, or the Kansas City Royals traveling to Fenway Park to face the Boston Red Sox in a game that had Greg Gumbel, who had been the pregame host, filling in for Dick Stockton alongside Jim Cott, while Stockton was absent for reasons not yet known. Was absent for unknown reasons. Stockton will return on July 21st to join Jim Cott at Wrigley Field for a game pitting the Cubs and San Francisco Giants in the B game, while the A-team of Jack Buck and Tim McCarver went to Riverfront Stadium to see the Cincinnati Reds take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Finally for July, on the 28th, viewers, depending on where they live, could tune in to either the New York Mets, who had fired manager Davey Johnson following a 2022 start, being replaced by Bud Harrelson, as the Mets hosting the St. Louis Cardinals, with St. Louis-based Buck, who would call Cardinals games when he wasn't occupied with his CBS duties, much like Vin Scully had done with calling NBC games on the weekend and the Dodgers during the week, were Dick Stockton and Jim Cott working the Kansas City Royals versus Baltimore Orioles game. Elsewhere, CBS's lone non-baseball major sporting event for July will be their final NASCAR race of the season, the DieHard 500 at Talladega.
Not the time to make your move.
No, not yet. No, Bill needs to make the move going no earlier, I think, than maybe going into turn 3.
The cross fingers on the back straightaway. Earnhart draws away a bit. 3-4 car lengths here.
Well, maybe Elliott back off just a little bit to try to get a running start and picking up the draft. Sort of testing him. He don't need to pass him on this lap. He needs to pass him on the last lap.
Boy, that's hard work. That is getting that right.
Yep.
Traffic and everything else. You didn't have the acceleration with these plates to put yourself up in a hurry.
Well, traffic will not come into play, David, on this last lap. If the white flag goes down, they have clear running.
Mark Martin back at 10. This is it to decide it all, and it's another Talladega finish. Unbelievable, the racing we get here. Through turn 1, Earnhardt in front. Elliott closing just a little.
He's going to have to close a lot, Ken. He'll have to do it better than he's doing it right now if he's going to pass Earnhardt before he gets back to the start-finish line.
Trims a car length. Elliott's foot absolutely quivering now on the foot on the gas pedal. I think he's pressing it just like he is. Gets another half car length. Falls back half a car length. Out of 4. Here they come for the finish. This is it. To the side.
Yellow flag is out along with the checker flag about to come out.
Racing to the line. Checkers about to be unfurled. As they come down through, dropping through, it'll be car number 3. Earnhardt has done it again. The first 3-time winner of the DieHard 500. And he wins the bonus. He's the 3rd man in history to sit on the pole and drive home for the checkers. Bill Elliott up to congratulate Dale Earnhardt.
That race went in with Dale Earnhardt becoming the only driver to win 3 consecutive restrictor plate races, beginning with the Winston 500 at Talladega in the spring, followed by the Pepsi 400 in Daytona earlier in July, as well as an ending where last lap rollover the 57 Heinz Pontiac driven by Jimmy Spencer, Osterlund's team, caused the yellow caution flag to be displayed along with the checkered flag, though the flip was apparently not noticed by CBS as they gave no explanation for the caution. Besides that, there's an interesting sidebar here in that, had he not cut a tire in the final lap of the Daytona 500, Dale Earnhardt was swept all 3 races aired on CBS.
I'm here with Dale Earnhardt after he just won the DieHard 500.
What's the question, dude?
How was the race?
Well, it was hot, but it was fast.
Yeah? Did you
just like you told me to go.
Yeah. Did you draft a lot?
Yeah, I drafted just like you told me to before the race.
You didn't have to pass to me, did you?
Well, yeah, we had to race them pretty good there and watch our gas mileage there at the end, but we did exactly what you told us and we won the race.
Are you going to give me some money when you get home?
I doubt it. You spent enough down here this week.
Oh, okay.